Now let's move on to the next level to think about, to categorize those 8 reasons into some standardized categories. So for example, it rains in the morning and a new subway station has opened last month near my house. That means it rains, subway station is near my house. Okay, those 2 propositions, statements, are related to analysis of the surrounding environment. That means it's nothing to do with myself. It's outside factors. But it's not about my competitor. And it's not about any stakeholders. Just such surrounding environment is given today. Yesterday was a sunny day, but suddenly this morning it rains. And then nobody can control about such surroundings. This is just a given fact, given surrounding environment. The new subway station has opened last month near my house. It's the same. Okay? It's not me who built the subway station, and that it's not the competitor who opened the new subway station, and then it's nothing to do with any stakeholders. When I say the stakeholders, that is somebody I have to take care of in terms of choosing the transportation methods. So for example, customers, my boss, my mother and father, those are the people I have to take into consideration in choosing one option from a lot of different options. Okay? It rains in the morning. A new subway station has opened last month near my house. Those are simply surrounding environments. So in order for me to choose the right option, I have to do some analysis of the surrounding environment. Okay? Everybody is affected by the surrounding environment. Let's move on to the next reasons I have considered. Traffic jam is expected on the highway due to the heavy rain in the morning rush hour. The subway is not expected to be crowded because the line is busy. The implications of those 2 arguments, that bus might be late due to traffic jam on the highway in a rainy rush hour. That means because of the highway in the rainy rush hour, there would be a traffic jam, means there would be a lot of competitors going to the downtown areas early in the morning. If it is not a rainy day, and if there is no competitors, even though it's a rainy day, if there are no cars on the highway, I can take a bus, right? But I cannot take the bus today because a lot of people are trying to use the same highway like me. That's why I'd rather not choose any transportation on the highways, bus or driving my own car, or taking a cab, taking a taxi, right? So that means in order for us to choose any the best option, we have considered about the competitors. Who is the competitor? When I try to achieve some targets, if somebody is influencing on my effort to achieve that goal, those are the stakeholders or the competitors. But competitors are achieving the same objective or achieving the same targets against myself. Right? So when building the business strategy, I have to look at who is my competitor and what is the current dynamics or movement of the competitors in setting the business strategies. Okay, that's the second analysis we have to do, competitor analysis. And let's have a look at some of the reasons about related to the professor and the school. My professor in the first class does not like the late coming students, and our school is very strict in checking attendance of the students. So implications of this argument is that I have to arrive at the school on time anyway. As I said, if my professor is so generous to the late coming students, and our school is very generous in checking attendance of the students, and then I don't have to be on time. Just because my professor and my school, the school's policy, I have to, those things have an influence in choosing my transportation options. But my professor and the school are not my competitors, but I have to consider their attitude in choosing the best options in building the business strategies, right? So that is analysis of the related stakeholders. In the building the business strategy, I think those can be converted to the analysis of the customers. Customers are not competitors. Customers are not surrounding environment, but customers' needs and wants should be considered in developing the business strategies. Right? And finally, let's have a look at the two final reasons I have considered. I cannot afford to take a taxi with little pocket money. That's about myself. That's the situation of myself. That's nothing to do with the external environment. That's nothing to do with the competitors or the related stakeholders. It's about myself. And also, if I do not have a driver's license yet, so that's about myself. Taxi and my own car, those are not realistic options because I don't have the money and then I don't have the licenses. So in building the business strategies, we have to think those very distinctive 4 different analyses. And implicitly, when choosing a subway option on a rainy day, we already make a lot of analysis in those 4 different areas. Even though we don't have enough time, so it's a very short period of the time, maybe in 1 minute or less than 1 minute. You consider a lot of reasons, and those are related to those 4 different analysis. Okay. So choosing to take a subway on a rainy day requires a few steps, 4 strategic thinkings. What was the step? So let's go back to our first slides. What was your thinking process? The first one, what time is it? It's 8:15. I'm late. And then I have to go to school in downtown by 8:50. What do I take? Bus, subway, taxi, or drive my own car? And then you consider a lot of various different reasons. It rains. Subway station is near my house. That's related to analysis of the surrounding environment. Next, bus might be late on the highway in a rainy rush hour. So that's related to the analysis of the competitors. I have to arrive at the school on time anyway. That's analysis of the related stakeholders. Taxi and my own car are not the realistic options. That's related to the analysis of myself. After the quick analysis of those 4 different aspects, and then I choose to take a subway to arrive at the school on time and safely on a rainy day. So those are the thinking process to reach my conclusion of choosing to take a subway, right? Okay. I named each step like that. Step number 1, under the current circumstances. So the first thing I considered in choosing the transportation option is that the current circumstances. If when I wake up in the morning, even though it's rainy, but if it's 6:15 instead of the 8:15, right? My choice of the transportation means might be totally different. So choosing the best option is dependent on my current circumstances. Just because it's 8:15 and it's only 35 minutes to take a transportation, I have to think about a lot of different options, and then choosing the subway is the right options based on considering my current circumstances. And next step in my thought process was that I thought about the targets. What time do I have to be at school? 8:50 early in the morning. And as I said, if I have to go to school by 10 in the morning, my choice of the transportation means would be totally different, right? If I have enough time, even though I'm late, 8:15, but my target time to be is not 8:50, but 10:50 or 10 o'clock, I may take very comfortable option, and I may take a bus as always, because even though traffic jam is expected, taking bus is quite convenient and then comfortable option than taking the subway, and then I may take the bus. So the target I have set affects in choosing the best options. And step number 3, once I consider the current circumstances and the target I want to achieve, and I consider a lot of various different options. So in my case of choosing the transportation, I considered I may take, what do I take? Bus, subway, taxi, or driving my own car. And then out of the various options, before choosing one against the another or the other, I do a lot of various analysis. That's step number 4. What kind of analysis did I do? I did 4 different analyses. One is about surrounding environment. Another is competitor analysis, related stakeholders analysis, and analysis of myself. After conducting those analyses, I may choose the best options. So choosing to take a subway on a rainy day is quite similar to strategic thinking. Point 1. If today is the same as any other day in my life, you don't have to bring strategic thinking. Intuitive thinking is quite okay, because your experiences, your knowledges will tell you instantly the right answers. But today's circumstance is different from other days. That's why we need to think of we need to think building the business strategy strategically. And then in strategic thinking, we take some steps, especially in step number 3. We presented a lot of different options. That is related to the analytical thinking. That means disaggregating the sophisticated problems or the issues into small issues. So in step number 3, it's better for you to leverage the concept of the MISI and logic trees to bring various options. And then in step number 4, we do a lot of analysis that is related to analytical thinking as well, right? We conduct a lot of analysis. And also, if you do the analysis before providing your own answer, that means you are a strategic thinker. That means you are not intuitive thinker. You collect a lot of evidence which might affect to your strategy building, and review those data to reach the conclusion. That's something the strategic thinker is doing. And once the analysis is conducted, choosing the best option is quite natural. Okay? So, again, building the strategy is not very difficult once you exercise in your way, in your day-to-day life, and then you can quickly build any strategic solutions taking this simple 5-step processes.